Today I went up against the Scandinavian defense, and in typical style, I played one of my gambits, and in this video you are going to see the Greenland Gambit, and it led to an absolutely fascinating game, and this was one of the most competitive games that I've ever played on this Lee chess board, and today is actually your last chance to take advantage of the Black Friday sale. Make sure if you do want to go get this board that you use my link in the description below. Last day, this is it. You're never going to get a better deal than this. Make sure you check it out if you do want to purchase this board, but I'm using it to play on Lee chess, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a really fun one. Again, link in the description. Make sure you use it. Bye. All right, we are going up against Olshansky. All right, Olshansky. This is a 1900 rated player from Russia. They are a 1500 rated Blitz player. They are a 1900 rated... oops. Oh, I'm white. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, I thought I... Oh, no. Can I flip the board? Oh, shoot. I meant to play a game as black. But, all right, I'm playing as white. These things are fixable. All right, we're off to a tough start. Let's see if we can bounce back. All right, we got the Scandinavian. So obviously, we're going to try to play a Greenland Gambit. Look, I didn't even set the white pieces up very nice. These are my opponent's pieces. I just kind of like thought, whatever. No reason to respect them. We'll just set them up kind of wherever. But all right, we got the Scandinavian. Let's hit him with a little bit of a Gambit. Let's see how he reacts to this. How do 1900 players play against this one? Now, Bishop D2. Okay, most people don't know about it. The board I don't think likes that I flipped it around, but that's all right. Let's do it. This is it. This is the Greenland Gambit. One of my viewers invented this one. It's called the Greenland Gambit. It's kind of like because it's out of the Scandinavian. I don't know. I don't know enough European history. The Scandinavian, the European Scandinavian. There's some beef there. Scandinavia, Greenland. Why are you guys fighting all the time? Just get over it. The rest of the world doesn't know what it's about, or at least, you know, this one dumb American doesn't know what you guys are fighting about. But I've sacrificed a couple pawns here. And my idea is to get castled queenside immediately. And then I can already begin making some threats. And I'm obviously castling before black. And hopefully I can get some sort of very dangerous attack. So knight to f6. Very expected. I castle on the queenside. Kind of eyeing the queen, which makes all sorts of things possible. E5. Okay, I don't know this one. But it does prevent me from playing bishop f4, if that was the goal. Also, it's just a nice move in the center. So, you know what? I respect it. I think it's good. I'm considering bishop c4 or knight to f3. Just developing the pieces. Trying to figure out which one I want to do. I think I'm going to start with knight f3, which attacks the pawn. Because you can't just push the pawn. I'm attacking that square twice, even though I am a mad gambiteer. You never know what I'm going to do. Bishop d6. This is kind of a big-time safety move. All right. It's respectable. It's a respectable move. Bishop to c4, going to the most aggressive square that I can. And it's kind of an interesting setup by black. I'll have to come up with a creative way to try to attack his setup here. Castles. Okay, black has played very well. I respect it, you know. Bishop g5 threatens to take the pawn. So there is some appeal there. Alternatively, I can bring my last piece in, which is kind of the point of the gambit, is to use all your pieces. So I think I actually will start here. I've now fully used all of my pieces. The opponent still needs to get the queen side out. He obviously has done very well. It's not particularly obvious how I'm going to try to exploit his position. But let's start with this one. And kind of what I'm doing is I'm asking the knight to come to c6. If I can get the knight to come to c6, which I failed to do, then my pin with bishop to g5 might be a little bit stronger. It might be easier for me to attack that pin piece. I'm worried about the knight going to d7, which is probably a very safe way for him to continue. I mean, he's playing so well. I'm getting crushed out here. But I am going to play bishop g5. I feel like this needs to happen at some moment. And I think the problem is he can go to d7. Knight b to d7. and defend his knight that way. This could be a little bit of an issue for me. But if the knight goes to d7, maybe I can play knight to e4. Not only attacking the pinned knight, but also putting pressure on the bishop. Okay, he does not go for that immediately. The obvious move is bishop to h4. But that doesn't sacrifice an entire bishop for no reason. I'm going to play bishop h4. Okay, you know what? For once in my life, I'll just play like an obvious move. I was trying to look at some sort of ways of like trying to sacrifice my bishop. But couldn't find any. Okay, he opens the G file. This was a little bit unexpected. I think a rook coming to the G file is actually very good for me. Not that, I mean, it might just be totally fine. Maybe black defends it. It just seems strange given the past play that the opponent has done. He's kind of gone for this like really solid approach of just kind of, you know, ignoring all of my threats. I think this is a great move for him. And he's now kind of switched to the, okay, I'm up material, let's trade down approach. But I think now this rook comes to the G file. If you got a G file, I guess you ought to use it. And I'm, you know, I'm coming for the king. I'm coming for the king. Knight to e4 might be one of my next moves. I'm getting a challenge. Yeah, let's see who it is. Mar Victor. I had a lot of new people challenging me recently, which is kind of cool. King h8. Okay, not worried about that one. It's not particularly dangerous. Knight e4. We'll just ask some questions, because now I'm attacking his bishop. Threatening to win a pawn. I don't know that I'm going to do it, but, you know, you got to make these kinds of threats. And hopefully it becomes a little bit difficult for him as the pressure begins to build here. Another construction that I would like to do is at some point, if my bishop is forced back to d3, I'm imagining a queen on d3, trying to reverse these, get some sort of queen on d3, bishop on c2 idea. That would be one way to kind of threaten a checkmate. I should also keep my eyes out for sacrifices on g7, although that doesn't seem particularly likely. Do I have any other way to add pressure on this knight? Probably not. Queen d3. It's not that good. I'm going to put this bishop back on b3. I'm also realizing another, maybe safer way to do this would be to play a3, bishop all the way back, bishop on b1, threatening to trade all of the knights and checkmate that way, which kind of is amusing, so I wish I'd considered it. Now a rook might come to the d file, and I'll have to figure out if I'm actually in time to play queen d3, bishop to c2. Whoa, I got so many challenges. I'm not, like, live. I'm not streaming. Why are so many people challenging me right now? I got this very tense position. I'm not sure what's happening. Man, I wish I played a3. Dropped the bishop all the way back and went to b1, because that's so much cooler. But if nothing else, I play queen d3, bishop to c2. Try to trade the knights a bunch of times. Try to deliver a checkmate. That's my threat that I'm working for. When I play queen to d3, it's possible that this knight is going to come to c5. However, I should have time to take that knight, bishop takes, and play bishop to c2, with some threats, I believe. B5? Wait, is that real? B5? Let me verify. Okay, that's what it says on the app. That's what it says on the board. B5? Look, I didn't see it coming. Queen to D3. Bishop to C2. Swap, swap, checkmate. So knight to C5, I believe, is one of the critical moves here. Knight to C5. Knight takes C5. Bishop takes C5. I play bishop to C2. He brings one of the rooks to the D file. At minimum, I can take his knight and then take his queen, and I think I'm fine. But I'm also, you know, I have some ideas of potentially swooping in with my queen. We'll see how this one goes down. Definitely, this is the most tense game I've played on a ChessUp board so far. Bishop here. Okay, really thought the knight was going there. Bishop there. Doesn't make any sense. I have a funny idea of queen takes d7, but I'm not going to do that. Wait. Queen takes d7. If knight takes, I take his queen. And then I'm going to win material. Because he's going to take me back and his knight's going to be hanging. If queen takes, he takes with his queen. All right, whatever, man. Let's just checkmate him. Let's just play for checkmate here. All right, I'm lining up for the eventual checkmate on h7. So I want to play like knight takes knight, and if he takes back with his knight, I want to take with my bishop, and then I want to checkmate him on h7. So we'll see how black tries to defend against this threat, and then failing that. I mean, I'm seeing that there might also be tactical opportunities everywhere. So black, I think, who had played pretty well, maybe had a hard time here as my attack started brewing, which is, I don't know, it's kind of typical. It's usually pretty hard to defend against attacks compared to, you know, doing the attacking. Attacking's easy. Look, just line up your queen and bishop and then try to checkmate them. Open G file. Put your piece on the open file. Pin things. Attack pin pieces. It's all pretty easy to do. Look for funny tactics. Look for taking the knight. Look at what happens if you take the bishop. Try to calculate all of your checks and captures. But now black, I mean, I'd say this is tough. Does G6 help him at all? Trying to come up with a plan in the event that he plays G6. Because there's ideas of, yeah, okay, so G6 played. So, I mean, rook takes G6 I don't think works. Rook takes G6. If pawn takes back, I can, for example, take this bishop. If the knight takes, queen takes G6. But then his queen can move over to G7. And I'm out of threats. If queen takes D7, let me do this one more time. Knight takes, I take his queen, and I should win material. Queen takes D7. If queen takes D7. Now, because you've played G6, this is so much worse for you because I get to take with check. Wait. Let's go. Give me that. Ah! I think we just found a pretty killer move. Just kind of working through all the possibilities of checking all of our checks and captures here. So our attack might end, might not. But we should just win material. Queen takes, I take the knight first with check. Knight takes, I take your queen. I'm attacking your bishop and your rook. Knight takes. Okay. Now I win material. Now I take your queen. You take back with a bishop, I take your knight. Okay. And I guess now this is not the end of the world. I take your knight for the opponent. Maybe this was one of the better defensive tries. And maybe we're going to play we're going to be playing an endgame. A better endgame that we should hopefully win. But an endgame nonetheless. Let's see where this bishop decides to go. If you want to protect everything, you could play bishop to d8. Bit passive, but you could do it. And then we'll need to find our next target. Here. Bishop d6. Okay, so now I can just take that with my rook. Or my knight, sorry, and then my rook. Which seems obvious enough for me to play it. So I will take here. He takes back immediately. He can pre-move. I can't pre-move because I'm on a physical board. Now, I want to try one trick before I continue, okay? Just one little trick. Then we'll keep playing. Obviously, I could take your pawn, which might be best. And I don't even think this trick works particularly well. I'm just seeing if he wants to go to g8 to defend his pawn, walking into a pin. But this actually might be the way to defend his d-pawn, if that's what he's into. But if you defend your d-pawn, you got to let go of your a-pawn. So now I begin to centralize. Oh, he does! He walks into the pin! Yes! Now I can take his g-pawn, which is beautiful. Love it. My one little trick came to fruition. And he's resigned! Hey, we don't have to play the endgame after all. And if you guys do want this board, make sure you use the link in the description below. And enjoy. It's a really cool board. This is the last day of the sale, so make sure you get it today. Bye!